Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we'll be talking about different funding sources for grad school and what exactly those funding options mean. Graduate assistantship, teaching assistantship, research assistantship, and all of that. So make sure you keep watching this video. So these positions really vary depending on your school. So the actual responsibilities you have and your work really vary based on what school you are at. So the first one we'll be talking about is teaching assistantships, and the TA position really involves you working with a professor, helping out with grading students' work or preparing for classes or materials for the class, helping with preparation of those materials and all of that. So what you actually do for this one really depends on the professor you're working with and the school you're at, but generally it involves a lot of work relating to a specific class for that professor. And generally you need to have taken that class previously before you can become a TA, because you might do some office hours for students, some tutorials for students as well. So you need to have some sort of knowledge of what that class entails. So you need to have taken the class previously. For many professors that is a requirement, but for some professors, if you have professional experience in that area, that should also count. But this really varies by professor, by school. And for this one, you typically are paid per semester. So that's maybe 3 months in the semester, depending on your school again. But you're paid at the end of each semester. But in some schools, they pay you at the end of each month. But many schools, they actually pay you at the end of the semester. So that's generally what the teaching assistant position is about. And many times you don't get this, from the department. This is kind of professor based, not the general department hiring. It's kind of mapped to a specific professor, a specific course. So the second one is research assistantships. For RA positions, this one is very common with research universities and school or PhD programs. So as an RA, you're supporting a professor in specific research. And that typically these professors get a lot of funding from organizations and sometimes governments on specific things, and you are supporting that professor or that research area. So basically you might be required to write research papers with the professor or supporting that, or do experiments, or just be involved in that research for which that professor or that department has gotten funding. And this is pretty common with PhD classes, because many professors just kind of prefer PhD students for this. And that's also because typically they want you to have some sort of research experience, depending on the kind of research this is about. But usually many of them require you to have some research experience, and some others you don't need to have any research experience. And similar to the TA position, you are paid at the end of the semester, or many schools actually provide RAs grant, some sort of stipend, and free tuition, tuition waiver as well. But for some schools, you get a specific amount is deducted from your tuition fees, some sort of waiver, but not a general waiver. It's this amount from your tuition you don't have to pay, because you are a research assistant for this research area, or for this class, or for this subject, so you don't have to do that. So all of that, the way you're paid for research assistant positions really varies by the school. And many times that happens by giving you a stipend and a tuition waiver, or just a stipend, or just a tuition waiver, or a portion of your tuition is waived, not the full waiver. It's just there's a whole range of methods for paying research assistants. So for this, like I said, you may need to have some research experience, or you need to prove to the professor or the chief researcher, or whoever is in charge, that you have some real good experience in that area or subject. So that should work as well. The next one is the graduate assistantship position. So the GA position really varies by school, by department. So unlike the other options I've talked about, the GA position is actually run by the department, and this is very common. Like for many people, when you get your admission, it comes with some, oh, you'd also be a graduate assistant, or sometimes you get to campus and you apply for these these GA positions and you get them. But this is pretty common, especially for like master's programs, especially if you're going in for maybe a research based type master's. It's like really common, and this usually doesn't have to be you doing some sort of research work or anything in the department. It ranges from, it could be maintaining the department's website. It could be supporting a professor with some academic work or some research. It could be anything, but I think the most important thing to note here is it is kind of like department run. So the department actually runs this recruitment many times, and then they could map you to work with a specific professor or to work on a specific thing, but it's run by that department you're applying to or you're going into. And also very similar to the other ones as well, you're typically paid a stipend or some tuition waiver. If it comes with your admission, many times you don't actually pay tuition, and then you get some stipend as well, like if you get like really good GA positions that come like as a package with your admission. But overall you are paid like a stipend, or you get a tuition waiver, or you don't just pay any tuition as long as you are a GA and you spend specific number of hours in your GA role, performing your GA duties, then that's great. These three are pretty similar in terms of how they work, but just a few differences, like who runs the recruitment, like how are you paid, is it a stipend, or it is some tuition waiver. But they're pretty similar, but the GA one is usually run by the department. Next one is scholarships and grants, and I think I have spoken a lot about this on this channel. If you haven't seen my scholarship videos, I'll link some of them in the description box, so you can check out how to get scholarships, how to apply for scholarships, how to ask for more funding and all of that. But the fourth option is scholarships and grants, and I think this is the sweetest, because many times you don't really have to pay that back. You don't really have to work for it sometimes. Some grants come with some conditions. Maybe you have to attend some conferences or you have to do certain things, but it's not really like work compared to the other ones that I have mentioned. It's almost like the school gave you some scholarship and it's great. It's it's not free money, but like you know what I mean. So I think that is the sweetest, but sometimes not everyone gets a lot of scholarship and grants. But this one, basically you get some money. Like if your tuition is $40,000, the school might say you get a 50% scholarship, and so you have to pay the 50% balance. And some students, typically that 50% balance, they pay through doing all these GA positions, RA positions, or like TA positions, like the other positions are. So I know a lot of you have experience being GAs, RAs, TAs. Make sure you drop a comment right now in the comment section about how that went. How did you get your GA position? Did you have to, ask for it? Did it come with your admission? How did that work? How did you fund grad school? Let's talk about all of that in the comment section. And if you enjoyed today's video and learned from it, please like this video. It means a whole lot to me, and consider subscribing to my channel as well. I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Bye.